Hello everyone. Welcome to Kissflow's Global Demo Day. I am Megha, your host for today, and with me I have our expert and speaker for today, Mr. Varun Rao, who works as a solution architect at Kissflow with a team that is dedicated to develop innovative business solutions for companies across industries. Varun comes with over 12 plus years of experience across multiple domains such as infrastructure, cloud, intelligent data processing, and digital transformation initiatives. And in today's demo, Mr. Varun is going to guide you all on how you could build a custom low code retail management app within few weeks so that you can manage everything from like new store expansion to automating everyday operations on a single custom retail management app. We can get started with the demo now. Over to Mr. Varun Rao.
Welcome to the webinar. We're going to talk about building a low-code retail management app within a few weeks as part of the webinar today. We'll divide the webinar into multiple sections. In the first section, we're going to go ahead and talk about Kissflow as a company, what are the different features that we have, and also talk a little bit about the process for the use case that we're picking up as part of the demo. In the second section, we're going to talk about the actual application and the different personas that would be working on the application. And as part of the last section, we're going to talk about how quickly you can make changes to these applications and go ahead and deploy that within your environment. I hope you're going to have an engaging session. I look forward to your questions as we go forward. So let's begin. Kissflow, I'm sure you would have some questions around the name. Kissflow stands for Keep It Simple and Smart Flow. We are primarily an application that works on workflow automation. We've also added new features around project management, case management, as well as a low-code application builder over the journey of our company. We've been in the business for around 15 to 20 years now. We are one platform, 160 countries, 10,000 customers use us today, and over 1 million users log into our SaaS platform every day. Moving forward, here are a few brands that cross Kissflow. This is across the globe and across multiple different business domains. If you look at the Kissflow offerings today, we have Kissflow as a platform which is both cloud and microservices compatible or cloud native largely. We perform process and task automation using the cloud as our infra layer, and everything on Kissflow is a microservice based application and is available over API bidirectionally. We also have a low-code application developer, which comes along with the AI Copilot, which allows you to develop very, very quickly within a few weeks or days versus a larger time frame that you generally are used to as part of traditional development. In addition to these features, we also have a number of things that Kissflow automatically configures for you as soon as you develop an application or a process or a workflow. And these are around collaboration, the reporting pieces, compatibility with mobile. You do not have to create separate screens for mobile. It's automatically responsive. We have a ton of connectors that are available, both named as well as an open REST API, as well as an open SOAP API connector, which will allow you to connect into a host of different systems today. In addition to this, we have the traditional workflow automation requirements around SLAs and notification, task management, auditing, and user roles and responsibilities. We'll talk a little bit about the different sections within retail that we can help with in your digital transformation journey. Some of the examples around purchasing and inventory are available here for your reference. Some examples from the sales order processing is available here for your reference. Some around analytics or process data that you would like to take from Kissflow is available here, and around maintenance and shared services that are available. With this, let's go ahead and talk about the use case that we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk about site expansions largely. If you look at the site expansion use case, you would have leads coming in and you would need to perform a number of async as well as sync tasks. What we've done here is we're going to display both the async as well as the sync nature and how Kissflow can help you develop this very quickly. So we go from a lead that is being generated on your website to your internal site analysts performing a demography review, a GIS review, a competition review, and then moving into it. Once a certain site or a lead has been confirmed or approved, it then goes into negotiations, due diligence, LOI delivery, as well as a legal review and the final lease agreement stage. Now, let's dive into the demo itself and move into how the application itself would look like. Let's start off with the persona of a cluster head. Now, if I move back and move into the homepage, as a cluster head, you would have requirements around being able to see key business indicators, being able to see across different months in terms of footfall trends, being able to see revenue across cities, looking at revenues by stores, and so on and so forth. This can again be expanded into multiple different dashboards, bring in a lot of data from external systems and configure this according to your requirements. And this change is very, very easy with Kissflow because it's mostly going to be low code, no code driven. And a lot of these are just drag and drop widgets, not requiring you to write any code at all. Now, from the perspective of the use case, let's go ahead and look at how a cluster head would be able to see the site selection as well as the site acquisition parts of the site expansion process. Now, the first section is the site selection process. As part of a cluster head, you'd be able to see the metrics across your entire team. You'd be able to also see all of the requests that are there today in the queue that are pending for approvals, etc. Right? And this would be across multiple different assignments that are happening and so on and so forth, right? So all of this is available to you, and this is just a drag and drop widget within our page builder that makes it easy for you to go ahead and configure, out of the box. In addition, you can go ahead and perform options such as viewing only a certain set of fields, being able to add a watch list, looking at filters, looking at sub-items data, and also being able to search across all of this. And again, to be able to do this, you do not have to do additional configuration as an administrator or an app builder. All of this is built in and is available as a widget on the platform. Now let's go ahead and look into the next persona that we have, which is that of a project manager. As a project manager, you would go ahead and look at only anything that is assigned to your project. Now, in this case, the site expansion is your project, and you would land into looking at the site selection as the first step, and the second part of it would be the site acquisition process itself, right? In addition, if you have multiple other projects being made available, you can then have this expanded out to different projects that are available to you or are under your umbrella. Again, similar to the cluster head, as a project manager, you need to have visibility across multiple different assignees, across multiple different sections, and so on and so forth. So the dashboard would allow you to go ahead and create this. Again, similar to the cluster head persona, you have the ability to search, filter, look at sub-items, create watch lists, and also select the fields that you would like to have on your view. And again, this is extremely role or user subjective. You can have a view created only for yourself, and this does not affect the global configuration on the platform. Now, moving to the last persona that we're going to discuss about, that's going to be of a site analyst. Now, within the site analyst section, again, I would only be responsible for my tasks as a site analyst. I do not need to see the productivity data for my team. All I would need to see is the productivity data for myself. And also, I only need to see all of the tasks that are assigned to myself as well. Now, if I go ahead and refresh this, I can see that the tasks are coming in, are being assigned to me, and are being closed out. I can see all of the different statuses. Again, I can customize the view the way I would like this, add watch lists, create filters, be able to search across the entire form, etc. Now, let's go ahead and look at task initiation that is going to be created. I'll move back to the persona of a project manager and then trigger a request within Kissflow from an external source. I've gone ahead and triggered a request on Kissflow. You can see here now that I would have a new request that would be created and be a part of the site selection. I can see here now that this site selection data is available. I can see that the data is populated automatically. I'll go ahead and upload data to complete the form. Again, as part of the upload widget, we have the ability to go ahead and configure multiple different sources. Right now, for the sake of the demo, we only have the local files enabled. We can also go ahead and enable SharePoint, OneDrive. You can also enable Google Drive as well. If need be, you can configure the form in a way where you can add more images or not choose not to add any images, etc. I'll enter the location data here. I'll go ahead and add an assignee as well. I can go ahead and also change the priority, etc. over here. I can also set up a due date. Let's go ahead and do that for 30th, which is tomorrow. Now that I've completed all of the required steps here, let's go ahead and move this from the lead to the demographic state. Now, I'll just go back to the site analyst role and show you how this would look like within the site analyst role section. I would have a new site task created, assigned to me here. And again, all of this would have notifications, etc., available to me. And you can see that I can see all of that information within. I can also go ahead and create a picture-in-picture mode where I can see this separately. I can also have this viewed as a separate section or in a new tab, or I can view this as a full screen widget as well. Now, if I look at the details section, I can go ahead and expand or close the details section. I can look at the sub items. I can add notes to this, as well as look at the item log for the different activities and statuses that were put in. Now I have all of the required information. Let's go ahead and populate the data. And I'm showing you here how you can get data from an external API. Again, this is just a point and click configuration. As soon as I click the button, I would have data being populated across, and I would be able to see the information for the total population, etc., from an external source. This could be any of your GIS systems or something like a Geo IQ or a Retail IQ, which would provide you information from an external source, which is AI driven as well. So it shows you how easy it is for Kissflow to pull in data from external systems. I then move ahead into the GIS analysis data. Again, I have the information for the retail landscape populated from the earlier call. I can also go ahead and reset data and then be able to pull data again if need be. Now let's go ahead and move into the competition analysis section. You can then see here that we have an option to add tabular information. If you have multiple competitors within this area, you can add the data and then mine all of this information later on in the form of reports or analytics that would be required. And we connect into most popular visualization tools such as Power BI, etc. And you can get that information directly into those warehouses if needed. Now moving forward, let's go ahead and move this into a summary section. Now as part of the summary, I go ahead and approve this request and then say the site is approved. Now let's close this out and look at how this would move to the next step. Now you can see here, the request on my end is closed. Remember the item ID. Remember that this is for Karnaka Reddy, right? Now moving back to the project manager section, I can see here as well that the task is completed. I can see that this is before the due date. I have the data here. Now let's go ahead and look at the site acquisition information. Now, if I go into my tasks, I can see that I now have tasks that are being created for me. You can see that this is from Karnaka Reddy for the same actions that I need to take. Let's put in the negotiated terms and the data in here. Say that negotiations are complete and submit. Now, if you look at the sections here, as I go through the different processes, you'll see that the process data can be made available through this intuitive widget that we have. It would show you everything that has been created or completed in the past, anything that is pending, and anything that is skipped as well. So right now you can see here, as part of the process that I explained earlier as well, you go ahead and trigger a site selection process. Once the site has been completed as an approved site, it then goes into a site acquisition process where we go into negotiations, we go into due diligence reviews, publish the letter of intent, get the owner to accept it, and then move into legal review and execution of the lease agreement. Right now, if you see here, we've gone ahead and negotiated the terms of the contract, which is what I just entered in the last section. Now I go ahead and complete the due diligence review, and then I go ahead and move to the next steps. We'll also showcase how the letter of intent gets automatically created, as well as a DocuSign integration is created as well. So you can see here, I have the ability to bring in multiple different sections, bring in a checklist, which would ensure that all of the required data is available to you within the form without having to go through a long coding process. Now, just go ahead and select all of this information. I have a 5-star property on my hand. I select submit. Now, you can see that the task has now moved ahead and is in the letter of intent section. You can see here the data that I've updated. I've said that there's a negotiation go ahead and there's a diligence go ahead. I now have the letter of intent terms being automatically created based on the data that I entered here. Again, this can be edited, made editable, etc. All of this is available. Now, at the end of the step, you'll see here that at the final LOI document section that we have below, a document would be automatically generated, and the same document would then be available to us as part of the email for DocuSign, as well as an automatic signing from the owner themselves. Now let's go quickly to the details section and take a look at how this would look like. You can see here now I've completed the negotiation as well as the due diligence section, and I'm currently at the letter of intent section. Now let's go ahead and approve this. You can see now that this is now pending at the letter of intent acceptance on the owner. You can see here that I have the document available to me. Again, we can get the picture-in-picture preview available for us. It's very, very simple for us to go ahead and do that. We can also have this open in a new tab or have this as a full screen as well. Very, very intuitive, very, very easy to use as well. Now let's quickly go ahead and check our emails for the email that we would have received. So you can see here, I have an email that's being received. Let's go ahead and review the document. I can check and see, yes, I have all of the information here. My duration is available. My data around all of this is available. I go ahead and sign this. And that's pretty much it, right? Now let's just go back to the site acquisition process. Now we're at owner acceptance. Now, since that is signed, let's go ahead and accept that this has been completed. Again, this can be automated in a way where you can capture all of that information that we've done within DocuSign and feed that back into the Kissflow process and auto approve here. For the sake of the demo, what we've done is we've kept this at a manual process level. Now let's go ahead. You can see here now that we have all of this available. We're into the legal review section. As part of the legal review, I'm going ahead and making sure that we have everything. Then we approve this, and we have the ability to attach a lease agreement here, which can then be moved out and provided as a signing for the owner again. With this, the process would end, and we could move ahead into the last bit, which is the complete section, which is the execution of the lease agreement itself. I'll take a pause and we'll move into the app section here, where we'll showcase how easy it is for you to go ahead and make those changes into the platform. What I'm showcasing now is the low-code application builder that we have here at Kissflow. You can see here that we have a very intuitive interface, which allows you to create apps, pages, integrations very, very quickly. We also have this extremely helpful navigation bar that gives you information in a very divided sections. One is around where you can create your data elements, where you can create your board elements. This is if you're running something like a site selection project or any other projects, etc. You also have the ability to create processes, in this case, site acquisition process and so on. Again, for those of you who are looking to develop something much more complicated, we have the ability to create various variables, both local and global, at an app level, and then be able to move data or capture data across different events and then have that propagated across. This could happen all over, right from your data forms to boards to processes and so on. You also have the ability to create analytic sections, and then you have the interface section, which would allow you to create pages very, very quickly And then you have the logic section where you can create integrations very similar to the one that we created for DocuSign. Now, as part of this, let's go ahead and quickly take a look at how you can make changes to your process forms, etc., to be able to bring in and update any of your business processes on the fly. Now, you can see here, we have an ability to select, drag, and drop any number of fields, and these field options vary from as simple as a text field to widgets that are checklists, rich text, grids, etc. Right now, let's go ahead and make a change where we add a section to the company. Let's say this is the company contact number that we're going to bring in, that has become a mandate with all of the changing laws that we have within the country. You hit save, and then you click on run, and you're ready to go ahead and take a look at how this particular change is now available to you within the site acquisition process. Now let's go ahead and make this as a new item. You can see here now that the company contact is available for you. The beauty of Kissflow, or the USP of Kissflow, is that you do not have to worry about how the data model in the backend is going to work. How is it going to affect any of my in-flight? How is it going to affect anything outside as well? Everything is taken care of by Kissflow intelligently. All you need to worry about is how you're going to best create a solution for the business problem at hand. And this frees up a lot of your mind space to be able to create beautiful apps, beautiful business processes, and optimize and efficiently digitally transform your company. I hope the overall discussion we've had today was useful. I look forward to having you again on our future webinars. Thank you.
That was an amazing demo, Mr. Varun. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great day.